When you're dealing with a narcissist, whether it's a partner, family member, boss, or friend, it can feel like you're constantly walking on eggshells. Narcissists are experts at making you feel like everything is your fault, manipulating situations to their advantage, and distorting reality in a way that makes you question your own judgment. It's exhausting. And one of the biggest mistakes people make in these situations is thinking they can somehow change the narcissist if only they explain things the right way, or if only they try harder to get through to them. But here's the hard truth: you cannot change a narcissist. What you can change, however, is how you respond. Let's dive deep into this idea, because it's a game changer. Once you understand that you can't control their behavior, but you have complete control over your own actions and reactions, you begin to reclaim your power. This isn't just about surviving life with a narcissist, it's about taking back your agency and refusing to let them control your emotional state. First, let's unpack why you can't change a narcissist. Narcissistic behavior is rooted in a deep-seated need for validation, admiration, and control. A narcissist's sense of self-worth is incredibly fragile, even though on the surface they may seem extremely confident or self-assured. They're constantly seeking external validation because internally they don't have a stable sense of self. This creates a cycle where they manipulate others to meet their needs, whether through charm, gaslighting, or emotional abuse. Narcissists typically lack self-awareness. They don't see their behavior as a problem. In fact, they often blame others for any issues that arise. This is why trying to get through to them is so frustrating. You can argue, explain, and reason with them all day long, but they're unlikely to acknowledge their role in the conflict. Their defense mechanisms, like blaming others or distorting reality, are designed to protect their fragile ego. So, no matter how well you articulate your feelings or point out their behavior, the narcissist is not going to change unless they choose to do deep, uncomfortable work on themselves, and most won't. This is why focusing on trying to change them is a dead-end street. It's like trying to push a boulder up a hill. It's exhausting, and no matter how hard you push, the boulder just rolls back down. You're left drained, frustrated, and still stuck in the same unhealthy dynamic. But here's the empowering part: while you can't change them, you can change how you respond. And that makes all the difference. When you shift your focus from trying to control the narcissist to controlling yourself, you begin to take back your power. The first step in changing how you respond is recognizing that you don't owe the narcissist your emotional energy. Narcissists thrive on attention, whether it's positive or negative. They want to provoke reactions from you because that gives them a sense of control. When you argue with them, defend yourself, or get emotionally charged, you're feeding their need for validation. They're pulling you into their game. But you don't have to play. One of the most effective ways to change how you respond is to practice emotional detachment. This doesn't mean you stop caring, it means you stop letting the narcissist dictate your emotional state. You create a buffer between their actions and your reactions. Instead of reacting immediately to their provocations, take a step back, breathe, and remind yourself that you are in control of how you respond. You don't have to get sucked into their drama. For example, if the narcissist starts criticizing you or making unreasonable demands, instead of defending yourself or getting upset, you can calmly state your boundary and refuse to engage further. You might say, "I'm not going to continue this conversation if you keep speaking to me this way." Or, "I'm not comfortable with that, and I'm choosing not to participate." This sends a clear message: they no longer have the power to provoke an emotional reaction from you. Another important part of changing how you respond is setting firm boundaries. Narcissists will push and test boundaries to see how much they can get away with. Without clear boundaries, they will continue to manipulate and control you. But boundaries are your way of taking back control. They are the limits you set on what behavior you will tolerate, and they are non-negotiable. When you set a boundary, be clear and direct. Narcissists often try to twist your words or manipulate the situation, so leave no room for ambiguity. For example, if a narcissist constantly invades your personal space or time, you can say, "I need you to respect my time, and I won't be able to respond to messages after 8 p.m. when they inevitably test that boundary. Enforce it without getting drawn into an argument. If they continue to violate it, take action, whether that's walking away from the conversation, blocking their number, or removing yourself from the situation. One of the biggest challenges you'll face when changing how you respond is guilt. Narcissists are skilled at making you feel guilty for setting boundaries or standing up for yourself. They may accuse you of being selfish, unloving, or unreasonable. They'll use emotional manipulation to make you doubt yourself. But here's the thing: setting boundaries and protecting your emotional health is not selfish. It's necessary. You are not responsible for the narcissist's feelings, and you don't owe them your constant compliance or attention. To deal with this guilt, you need to remind yourself of one critical truth: you are responsible for your own happiness and well-being. The narcissist's behavior is not a reflection of your worth, it's a reflection of their own issues. You don't have to fix them. Your job is to take care of yourself, set healthy boundaries, and protect your emotional space. Changing how you respond to a narcissist also means taking back control of your narrative. Narcissists love to distort reality and make you feel like you're the problem. Over time, this can erode your confidence and self-esteem. But you have the power to rewrite that narrative. Instead of internalizing their criticism or gaslighting, remind yourself of who you really are. Surround yourself with supportive people who reflect your true value and worth. Engage in activities that make you feel strong and capable. The more you focus on building yourself up, the less power the narcissist has to tear you down. Ultimately, changing how you respond to a narcissist is about taking back control of your life. It's about recognizing that you can't control their behavior, but you can control how you react to it. You can choose to stop engaging in their games. You can choose to set boundaries that protect your emotional well-being, and you can choose to focus on your own growth, happiness, and self-worth rather than trying to fix someone else. This shift in focus from trying to change them to changing how you respond is what will set you free. It's not easy, and it takes practice, but once you start reclaiming your power, you'll feel stronger, more confident, and more in control of your own life. You'll stop living in reaction to the narcissist's demands, and you'll start living according to your own values, needs, and priorities. And that's where true freedom lies. When you're entangled with a narcissist, whether it's a partner, a boss, or even a family member, it can feel like you're losing control of your life. Their constant manipulation, gaslighting, and need for dominance can make you feel powerless, confused, and emotionally exhausted. You find yourself second-guessing your decisions, bending over backward to keep the peace, and getting drawn into their endless drama. But here's something you need to know: you have the power to take back control. And it starts with setting boundaries and emotionally detaching from their manipulative tactics. Let's start with boundaries, because without them, you're essentially leaving yourself open to the narcissist's relentless attempts to dominate and control you. Boundaries are crucial because narcissists are boundary breakers by nature. They don't respect your limits, your time, your emotions, or your personal space. They push and push, always testing how much they can get away with, and the more leeway you give them, the more they will take. But here's the thing: boundaries are your armor. They protect your emotional, mental, and even physical well-being from the narcissist's toxic behavior. Setting boundaries with a narcissist is about making it clear what you will and will not tolerate. It's drawing a line in the sand and saying, this is where I stand, and I won't be moved, you might think, but if I set boundaries, they'll get angry or they'll guilt trip me. And you're right, they probably will. Narcissists hate boundaries because boundaries mean they can't control you. But that's exactly why you need them. Boundaries are not for the narcissist, they're for you. Now, how do you go about setting boundaries? First, you need to be clear and direct. Narcissists love ambiguity. They will twist your words, manipulate the situation, and play the victim if your boundaries aren't firm. For example, instead of saying, I don't like it when you call me late at night, say, I'm not available for calls after 8 p.m. If you call after that, I won't answer. The clearer your boundary, the harder it will be for them to find loopholes. You have to communicate your boundaries in a way that leaves no room for debate or misinterpretation. But just stating a boundary isn't enough. You have to enforce it. And this is where things can get tricky, because narcissists don't take no for an answer. They will test your boundaries over and over again, trying to see if they can push you back into the space where they can control you. When they do, you need to stand firm. If they call you at 10 p.m. after you've told them not to, don't answer the phone. If they start yelling at you after you've said you won't engage in conversations with that tone, walk away. Every time you enforce your boundary, you're sending a clear message: I am in control of how I am treated, not you. You'll also need to get comfortable with the fact that setting boundaries may lead to backlash. Narcissists are experts at making you feel guilty for standing up for yourself. They'll accuse you of being selfish, unreasonable, or even cruel. But here's the truth: you're not responsible for how they feel about your boundaries. You're responsible for protecting yourself, for safeguarding your emotional well-being, and for creating a space where you feel respected. If enforcing your boundaries makes them uncomfortable or upset, that's not your burden to carry. Now, let's talk about emotional detachment, because boundaries alone won't keep you safe from the emotional whirlwind a narcissist brings. Narcissists feed off drama and emotional reactions. They thrive on getting you worked up because it gives them a sense of control. Every time you react emotionally to their provocations, whether through anger, frustration, or tears, you're giving them what they want. You're handing them your power. Detaching emotionally doesn't mean you stop caring, it means you stop letting them dictate how you feel. It's about taking back control of your emotional energy and refusing to let the narcissist have power over your reactions. Detachment looks like this when the narcissist tries to provoke you. Instead of getting sucked into the argument, you stay calm. Instead of defending yourself against their accusations or trying to reason with them, you disengage. You might say something like, "I'm not going to discuss this further," or simply walk away. It's about refusing to play their game. The key to emotional detachment is understanding that you don't owe the narcissist an emotional response. They will try to provoke you, whether through insults, guilt trips, or manipulative tactics, but you don't have to engage. You don't have to defend yourself, explain yourself, or justify your actions. In fact, the less you engage, the more power you reclaim. Think of it this way: every time you refuse to react, you're taking a piece of your power back. Emotional detachment also means recognizing that the narcissist's behavior is not a reflection of you, it's a reflection of them. Narcissists will often project their insecurities onto you, making you feel like you're the problem. But here's the reality: their manipulation, their anger, their need for control has nothing to do with you and everything to do with their own unresolved issues. When you can separate their behavior from your sense of self-worth, you're able to see the situation more clearly and respond from a place of strength, not weakness. Detaching emotionally also gives you the space to focus on your own well-being. Narcissists drain your energy because they demand constant attention and validation. When you detach, you're no longer investing all your emotional energy into their chaos. Instead, you can redirect that energy into things that nurture and strengthen you, whether it's your career, your hobbies, your relationships with supportive people, or your mental health. It's important to remember that emotional detachment doesn't happen overnight. It's a practice. You'll have moments where the narcissist gets under your skin, where you slip back into old patterns of reacting or defending yourself. That's okay. What matters is that you keep working on it. Every time you practice detachment, you're building a stronger emotional shield. Over time, you'll find that the narcissist's provocations have less and less and less of an impact on you. You'll feel calmer, more centered, and more in control of your own emotional state. In conclusion, setting boundaries and emotionally detaching from a narcissist are two of the most powerful tools you have in reclaiming control over your life. Boundaries create a clear line that protects you from manipulation, while emotional detachment ensures that you're not giving away your power through emotional reactions. Together, they allow you to take back control of your time, your energy, and your emotional well-being. It's not easy. Narcissists don't like to lose control, but with practice, you can break free from their grip and start living life on your own terms. You deserve that freedom, and it's within your reach.